Hello, hello. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the weekend. Happy Saturday. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing well. Hello, Java. How are we doing today? Ugh, how's the weekend starting off for us? So far, so good over here. Scylla says, Yo, Bali Unc, how are you? I'm doing very well, my friend. How are you today? That's a ring of shame. You have a new, what do you call it? Profile picture? Nope, backwards. There we go. Very cool. You're great. I'm glad. Ooh, loud. I'm glad to hear it. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm glad that the weekend is here. It's going to be a busy weekend, but I'm glad the weekend is here. What's going on, Mel? Welcome to the show. Ring of shame again. Great as always. I've been working on my own CNC submission. Very cool. Good luck to you, my friend. Good luck. My hands are cold because my office is cold because, like, what is the temperature in here right now? Oh, it's actually not too bad. It's starting to warm up. It's 71. But I had my window open and my office door was open, so I had quite the draft of 48-degree air rushing through here. So it's still pretty chilly feeling, and my hands have not warmed up yet. So that's going to be my excuse this morning for why I have to warm up. That, and I haven't really flipped much this morning. Mm. Yeah, I don't know if Tony is still in here or not, but Tony's quote got pinned. What if instead of rage baiting, we joy baited and made people's days? Um, that's uh, that's awesome. What if people did that? That would be so cool. I do enjoy watching the YouTube shorts that I see periodically. Light side YouTube shorts that I see periodically of people uh, doing the like anti heckle where they just yell out to strangers they see random compliments about either what they look like or what they're. Ooh, that was right on my toe. Thankfully, I think that was the butt end as opposed to the point. Um, but yeah, those are just, it's like that kind of unexpected positive content that I really enjoy watching. That and Bally content, obviously. I have really been favoring the bite handle uh, yesterday and today. I've noticed every time I stop on, like right there again, every time I stop naturally on a handle, it's the bite handle, which is fine. I can still flip with it like that. It's unusual to my typical flipping. I typically stick to the safe handle. The only thing is I have to make sure that because fanning is fine on the bite handle for me. I just have to make sure that I don't try to do any type of ricochets or rollovers when I have it. Oh, all right. Let's try something other than the kite AL. Let's play with the let's work my way into, based on the flipping that I've been doing, let's work my way into the community Kraken by playing with the Unc Kraken first. What's going on, Kyle? How are we doing today? Welcome to the show. I think this is the first time I have noticed your your username before, so I'm not sure if you're new here, if you're a flipper, or if you're a regular lurker, but either way, welcome. Hopefully your weekend is off to a good start. Doing good? Good. I am glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I did not get much sleep last night. I woke up super early and then ended up having to go back to bed because I ended up getting so tired this morning. And then still ended up getting up earlier than probably most people do on the weekends. So I've already been having a pretty long day, but for a quiet Saturday, a long day is all right. I'm okay with it. We are just doing some flipping and chilling out, seeing what everybody's got going on, doing what talking we're going to be doing before we get into my talking notes on this fine Saturday that we have here today. Where my talking notes are really about how it's just so much easier in the long run to choose make decisions out of love than making decisions out of hatred. It's easier. It's more logical if you actually take a step back and think about it. But we'll get into that. First and foremost, we'll see what everybody's got going on, and like I said, do a little bit of chatting, do a little bit of intentional flipping before I get into my mindless flipping and reading of talking notes. Yeah. My hand is still sore from all the flipping I was doing yesterday. What's going on, Jax? Tony's pinned message is peak. I agree. I agree. I came into the stream having seen that pinned message and thought to myself, I must pin that because that is absolutely amazing. What if people did do that? That would be so awesome. What's going on, Cruz? Yep, looks like Silas does have a new PFP. Yep, so gotta make sure I don't drop these on my toes. All right, so I have a couple new Bally's on their way to me. Not new as in brand new from the manufacturer, and not on their way to me to keep. But I have a couple fun toys to play around with again that I'm getting. One by way of a friend lending me a Bally, and then two by way of pass-arounds slash friends lending me Bally's. Is that Speed Channel Kraken? Yes, this one, my Bali Unc Kraken is speed channeled. My community Kraken is full channeled. But other than that, they are, yes, V3 Kraken, inked out Tonto blade. This one is speed channeled with Thai hardware, and this one is just black standard hardware, but same inked out Tonto blade. This one is my favorite of the two, in all honesty. I like the density of the handles on the full channeled Kraken more than the lightness of the handles on the speed channel Kraken. That said, the speed channel Kraken sounds amazing and fans beautifully. So it definitely has its merits. It's just for feel in the hand, my preferred is definitely the full channeled Kraken currently. Then again, yesterday I was carrying the Crescent all day, and the weight balance of the Crescent threw me off so much that when I got home and tried flipping the community Kraken, I couldn't flip it to save my life. I was really struggling, and I had to switch over to the speed channeled Unc Kraken to work my way back into, that weight profile. But sick flipping either way. I mean, whether you go the speed channel or the full channel, and whether you go Kraken or Crescent or anything in between, I mean, you can't badly wrong as far as I'm concerned. Let's flip the Orion 1.5. Ah, I found your streams. Remind me to make food. I found your streams. Remind me to make food. I wonder what about my streams are reminding you to make food out of curiosity? Because now I'm hungry and I don't have anything to eat. And I just started streaming. But my streaming reminding you of food just reminded me of food. So I was gonna have a bowl of cereal before I went live, and I completely forgot to. I went downstairs to talk to my wife and spent the entire time talking to my wife and not eating, which is fine. It was time well spent, but I'm still hungry. Oh, the time? Gotcha. Ow. And that was the bite side too. Didn't cut though. Didn't break the skin. Just hurt really bad. Oof. Nope. That was not good either. But I'll take it. All right. Man, my hand is getting sore. I need to flip something later. But I don't really want to flip the Squiddy U. I might end up flipping the canvas. We'll see. That was horrible. Let's try that again. That was still horrible. Need more heft to do the hellbent. Even though heft is not what I'm shooting for right now because my hand is tired. No, not feeling that either. All right. Well, we are not very chatty today, which means we got a bunch of lurkers, which is totally fine. I love my lurkers. But I think what that means is we're probably going to get it into my talking notes. Um, be aware, I tossed these together, finished them up, and I did not read through them after I was done. So I'm probably going to scan them for a little bit and then start talking through section by section. as opposed to just one big tirade. And in doing so, if you guys toss anything into the chat, I will interact with you during my breaks between session or sections. But hopefully the pause between sections for me to actually scan through will keep the ums and the uhs to a minimum. That's the goal. Fingers crossed. Ooh, let's flip something. What do we want to flip? We'll flip the canvas. All right, so the topic of today's stream was I can't remember what exact wording I used, but basically it's love over hate, love versus hate. It's easier to choose love than to choose hate. Whatever the case may be, it's still all the same general idea. And really, where I start with that is why do people hate? Why do people react so strongly to things that don't even affect them? So we all run into people that seem difficult, harsh, or just off from time to time. But what if there's more going on under the surface that we don't realize? So today I kind of want to talk about what happens when you replace judgment with curiosity. Where hate comes from. Sometimes people are acting or reacting to something that had previously hurt them. Sometimes it's not even their belief originally. It's something dealing with their upbringing or some sort of learned behavior. And sometimes it's the fear of the unknown. If something doesn't fit our worldview, it can feel threatening. So have you ever caught yourself reacting to something just because it felt unfamiliar, as opposed to taking a step back and thinking about what it is that you're experiencing and what it is that is transpiring around you in the situation? And then we will see what's going on in the chat. Stitch says, love is easier than hate is the wording. Thank you very much. And love is easier than hate. Well, love is easier than hate when all is said and done. And it's better for you, and it's better for them, and it's better for all parties involved, simply because of what we're unpackaging here today. So next up is what's up, Unc? I'm back. What's going on, Tevko? How are we doing today? You have not missed much. I just got into the talking notes of today. Basically just talking through the question of why do people hate, whether it be out of their pain and trauma of past circumstances, upbringing, or learned behavior, or fear of the unknown, and just opting to shy away from what they don't understand, then asking maybe questions or looking deeper into it. And then I asked the question, have you ever caught yourself reacting to something just because it felt unfamiliar, rather than putting yourself in somebody's shoes or thinking about it? Did you just have a gut reaction? So that's all you missed. So the power of curiosity is a core shifting focus. If you can take a step back and get curious, everything can change. And I do this with why questions. And there are two different types of why questions. You have externally curious why questions, like, why is this happening? What is happening? What is going on? And why does this person or this group or this thing feel the way that it does? And then you have internally curious why questions. And this is the more powerful one to me. And this is why does this matter to me? How does this actually affect me? And is this worth my emotional energy to really invest in feelings about this thing? This is where I personally start figuring out how much I have invested in the situation. And I look at it like a blank canvas, well, like a canvas, like you're painting a picture. And when I look at the situation, if I am finding that I'm not personally impacted by anything in the situation that is going on, if somebody is reacting, if somebody is struggling, if somebody is responding to something, and their outburst doesn't really have a lasting impact on me whatsoever, my stance on it is, okay, cool, you've got a blank canvas. Then my shift, or then, if I am impacted, then the question turns into something along the lines of, how invested are they? What role did they play in everything? What role do I play in everything? And how do we make this a thing that both of us survive, whatever the case may be? Whether it be a project, whether it be a conversation, whether it be an event that we have to share a car ride to, who knows? But if I am impacted, the question is, how do we work together? And if I'm not impacted, the stage is yours. I will bring. We'll get into that. I don't bring anything to the table. I'm just listening. So I break this into two paths. If I have low investment, meaning that these are like passing thoughts, this is a conversation that's going to happen really quick, but it isn't going to have any long-term impact. It'll pass quickly. No need to escalate. If it is a high investment, very passionate situation, well, now I need to understand why this matters to them. What emotions are tied to this? How is my response going to affect the direction of this conversation? More importantly, how is my response going to affect, or potentially could affect, the direction of this person's day? Because I've said before, a single day can be made or broken by a single interaction that no one being a part of that interaction could know that this was going to be a pivotal point of somebody's day. But it happens on a daily basis. And this could be one of those pivotal moments for them. So, what is the potential outcome of my reaction, my response to all of this? And then, you got to reinforce what you care about and where your values are. And me personally, I choose to care about the people, even if it's a very small interaction. If it's something that I have no investment in, it isn't going to have any effect on me at the end of the day. Like I said, they have a blank canvas. They have the paintbrush. It is totally up to them. They have the stage. They can direct the narrative of the conversation, and I will be vested for their benefit. I will ask questions. I will, do my best to remember for future conversations. But I make it about them. Whereas if I am vested, like I said, that's where, rather than making it about me, I look to figure out how we can make it about everybody. When you are impacted, introduce that tension, and balance. You got to say, speak up about it, and you say something along the lines of, okay, but, when does this affect you? When does this affect me? Show them that it's not a you versus them thing. Reframe and kind of explain to them that you guys are co-creating this moment together. A lot of people tend to look at these situations like a, Hey, does this impact me or not? If it doesn't, okay, I don't care. Hey, does this impact me or not? Yes. Okay, if it does, then I care, and this is now my show. What's the topic today, Unc? The topic today was Stitch helped me. Love is easier than hate. Was the phrasing. So we're talking about how you can go into situations and be right back. Okay, thanks, Jax. Um, how you can go into situations and actively choose to um, approach it with a loving intent as opposed to fearful hate. When you are impacted, you ask the questions, hey, how does this impact you? This is how this impacts me. Let them know that you care, because a lot of people, like I think I was saying, but I don't think I got there. A lot of people look at it as a all or nothing type of situation. If this doesn't impact me, it doesn't impact me. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. If this does impact me, then I call the shots because I am impacted. And really, you can make it about you both combined at all times. If it isn't about you, you're the one who's presenting them with the canvas to paint their mural, tell their story. You're the one that they're talking to, so you are vested in providing them, a soundboard to listen to, someone to feel that they exist and witness their telling of a story or experiencing of a situation, whatever the case may be. You are in fact there. You are vested. Don't downplay that role, because again, that it may be a moment that makes or breaks that person's day. So own it. But number two, shoot, what was number two? I forgot number two. I might remember. Let's see. No, I don't. But really, at the end of the day, like I said, if you go into it with the expectation that this isn't about them and this isn't about you, this is about a scenario, a situation between two people, and you are a contributing factor of the outcome for the other person. Why not try to make that a better outcome for that other person? It makes the world better when people are better. So, my practical approach on it is to try to stay calm, try to stay patient, and try to stay intentional. I clearly express, hey, this is what I need out of this interaction, and then I make sure that I pair that up with care. I also want to make sure that you succeed in what you're trying to accomplish in this endeavor that we're going into together. If and I my personal like philosophy statement is, if everything is going to get done, and when I say that, I mean, okay, when we're going into this thing, this is what I want out of the interaction. This is what they want out of the interaction. I know that we have enough time and we have the manpower for me to get my thing out of this interaction. This person has enough time and we have the ability for this person to get their thing out of the interaction. My philosophy is if everything's going to get done anyways, I'm okay letting their needs come first. For a couple of reasons. Number one, if we know that my need is going to be satisfied regardless, what's the rush? I'm after my need is done, I'm going to be turning over and helping satisfy their need, whatever it may be. So what's the need of me doing getting whatever it is I'm getting out of the interaction first? I can help make sure that they get their needs satisfied and then worry about me. The reason this works is that it reduces tension, because it lets them know, hey, what's going on with Ghost Baileys? It reduces tension because it lets them know that I care about what they are concerned with and what they care about. It also builds trust for the same reason, because it lets them know not just in my actions that I care, what's going on for them, but in my heart. I mean, because this is my idea. I'm the one who's saying, hey, let's do this. Let's take care of you first. I'm making it very clear that in this interaction, I care about you and I want you to succeed because I know that I'm going to when all is said and done anyway. So let's do the best for you that we can. And that makes the interaction smoother for both people because they're going into it, very open and hopefully expecting a good interaction because you've started it off on the right foot. And hopefully you're going to have a good interaction because again you've laid down a solid foundation for a pretty good functional relationship through whatever endeavor or whatever conversation you're working through. But really, the deeper principle is that at the end of the day, avoiding consideration usually comes down to fear. Considering somebody else's well-being is love, simply put. You don't need to know someone to show them love. You don't need to know someone to show that you care and to take a genuine interest in their accomplishing their goals. You just have to try to understand them, understand where they're coming from, understand what they're trying to accomplish, and do what you can about putting yourself in their shoes. If you were trying to accomplish what they were doing, or what they were trying to do, how would you go about it? And how would you feel given their current situation? Um, in closing, next time you feel that reaction, that just gut reaction to respond, pause and get a little bit curious. Start asking some of those why questions. Not only why is this person caring about this, but why are you um, not caring about it? Like what can you bring to the table? Think about it internally, think about it externally, but give it some thought. Do your best to give it some thought before you just react. And you'll be interested to see the direction that the conversations go. But really, just in general, ask better why questions. Ask why questions about them and ask why questions about yourself. So, question for you guys. What's a situation where you could have used curiosity instead of a reaction? Do you guys have any situations that escalated when they probably didn't need to simply because you didn't ask a clarifying question? Happens to me all the time. Not to my fault, not to anybody's fault. It's just life. I mean, really, you can always find situations for anyone in any given day where they just react. We're designed to do that. Our brains function specifically to respond with as minimal thought as possible. It's the flight or fight response. It makes sense. We're designed to do that. So we are in fact talking about something that is very intentional. And because of that, I suppose it's a little I don't know. I don't want to say it's unfair to say that it's easier to love than to hate because you do have to be intentional. But with practice, it does become easier because you do naturally ask those questions. You do naturally put yourself, in other people's shoes and try to look at situations from other perspectives, which always makes decisions easier and better and makes everybody more comfortable. That's what I try to do, anyways. So that is the end of my talking notes for the day. I am going to throw up the be right back sign. I'm going to drop my desk down. I'm going to bring my chair around. I'm going to get a little bit more comfortable, and then we'll see where we're going from here. But for the time being, I will be right back. All right, I am back. So, yeah, I mean, so yeah, I guess it's not super fair for me to just bluntly say, again, considering perspectives and different angles that I can look at the situation from. I don't know that it's necessarily fair to say that it's easier to choose love um, over hate, because hate is or could be fear or taught behavior, and or conscious choice. And all three of those come very naturally, either because fear is natural and a flight response, um, makes sense. Uh, and then, oh, what other ones did I say? I can't remember. But it's if it's learned behavior, that's obviously going to be your natural, response because that's what you were taught your whole life. Um, but again, with practice, putting yourself in other people's shoes, it does become a pretty easy thing to do. But for some people, it's natural. Like for me, that's one of my natural talents. That's one of those things that I can do. And I look at other people and I think, well, I mean, this is common sense. You do this. But that's common sense for me. I mean, that's why it's one of my gifts. One of my abilities is to put myself in other people's shoes. Everybody has one of those, I refer to them as common sense gifts, where, you're sitting in a room and you watch somebody do something and you think, oh my gosh, why would you, like, what? You have no common sense. And it's like, it isn't so much that that person doesn't have common sense. I think common sense, I was just talking to somebody about it earlier this morning. I think common sense is a horrible indicator of somebody's intelligence. Or rather, somebody lacking common sense is a horrible indicator of somebody's intelligence, because everybody sense is common to everybody differently. And the way that I look at that is, if you look at something and you say, that's common sense, that means that you're really good at whatever that might be. It might be social interaction. It might be something very broad like that. It might be something very specific with regards to balisong dynamics, or the crafting or the machining of them. But regardless, you may be like, oh, well, in the world of flipping, in the world of balisongs, in the world of this thing, this is common sense. Well, it's common sense to you. That means that that's gifted knowledge that you have, which means that's something to be proud of. But not necessarily something to pull somebody else down with. It's not a tool to judge other people. It should be a tool to hype you up. LeBreton says, I'm getting better at flipping. I am glad to hear that you are recognizing that, LeBreton. That's very cool. I think that you are getting better at flipping as well. I am not learning much, but I am getting much more confident and comfortable in what it is that I'm doing. I am trying to put more attention into not learning, but doing different things than I always do. The last couple of days, I've been trying to do the blender more, um, and that's starting to smooth out a little bit, which is nice. Ugh. But mine is still flipping. That makes me curious why everybody, or not everybody, but why people tune into my streams to watch me flip. Because my flipping is insanely not impressive. I have the Infinite Murnax Super Down. Very cool. Congratulations. Very proud of you. Ugh, that was not good. Uh, Makes me happy, LOL. Good. What, the Infinite Murnax being super down, or my streams? Um, I have noticed it's harder to do explorative flipping for me on live stream because I feel like all eyes are on me and it's very quiet. So I tend to go through the same like one or two combos. So if you guys tend to notice that and pay attention to that and get bored with it, I apologize. Both. Okay, fair, fair. Excuse me. I'm gonna throw up. To be right back, sign and clear my throat. Just one moment. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. My goodness. Throat just got super dry in one particular spot and I could not dampen it. All right, let's flip the community Kraken. This one just feels much more solid in the hand because it doesn't have the speed channels. My cat just sprayed on my blanket. Yeah, I would be angry too. I'm sorry that happened. Respond with love, not hate. I don't quite know how to do that, but try to put yourself in your cat's paws. Maybe that blanket just smelled horrible to your cat and your cat really, really, or maybe your cat loves that blanket. Just loves the crap out of that blanket. Like so much so that your cat was like, you know what? Finally, I have to I have to claim this thing. Like I love this thing so much I have to make sure that nobody uses this but me for all of eternity. Maybe your cat just loves the crap out of that blanket. But I'm sorry that it happened. I'm making light of it, and I don't mean to because that blanket might might mean something to you. But that really sucks. I'm so sorry. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm making light of it. That does suck, and I feel bad for you. Bummer, dude. Because now I'm gonna be cold because the next few days are gonna be cold. Oh man, I'm sorry. I've had days like that, man. I have. Mad and sad. Yep, bummer. Bummer. I when I was going through basic training, I ended up going through the gas chamber, the where they do tear gas, really concentrated tear gas in this bunker, and then they walk you into it with your gas mask on, and they have you like break the seal on the mask and then close it back up and clear the bad uh, air out of that so that you can breathe again to prove that you can do it. And about half of the people in the room, because you can't go all at once, you go in like groups of 8 to 10 people back when I was doing it. But you would go and about half the people would start coughing underneath their masks because they didn't clear it right. And then they would say, okay, take off your masks, open your eyes. And they would just make you stand there and breathe it in and experience it for, it felt like minutes, but it was probably 10 to 15 seconds. and then they had us, march out of the bunker. But it was so condensed. It was so like full in the air. It was like condensation of this material, of this like in fluid form, was all over the walls. So if you walked in and your hand brushed against it, your hand was burning by the time you did the first clear, before you even took the mask off. Once you took the mask off, it was all in your face, all in your eyes, all in your nose. Your nose was runny. It was horrible. And the funny thing is, we did that in Navy boot camp as well. LOL, there was a throw up bucket outside the bunker. There was a throw up bucket outside the bunker and a guy with a video camera. I wish I could figure out how to get a hold of whatever recordings were done during boot camp. But alas, I never saw an option to get them. But yeah, the crazy thing was that was after like I want to say that we did like a 10-mile hike out there, and then we did that. Then we ate lunch, and then we did a 10-mile hike back. And all of my stuff for like the rest of boot camp, like my blanket specifically, smelled like C2 or C2 gas. Yeah. So like every single night when I would go to bed, I would go to bed to burning eyes. So I mean that's not the same as your cat, spraying your blanket, but I can at least relate to having a really crappy blanket as your only blanket option, because no matter what I did to that thing, I could not get the gas smell out of it. It was horrible. And the crazy part was that all happened um, on my 18th birthday. So I turned 18 in basic training the day that I went through the gas chamber. That was quite the entry into manhood. So there's a Bali Unc story for you all today. Oh, and by the way, hi Pico. How are you? I don't think I read your comment, but I don't think I said hi. Welcome to the weekend. Hopefully you're having a good start to the weekend. No, that was backwards. Let's play with the Kite AL 1.5. That was backwards. He got the couch too. Oh, that's a bummer. If it makes you feel any better, Dewey pees all over the place too. Not all over the place. Dewey has very specific spots in the house that he pees, but he does. It'd be a whole lot easier to handle if he was a horrible cat, but he's like the world's chillest cat. He just has anxiety and pees. Yeah, that sucks, Lou Breton. I'm sorry you're dealing with that this weekend. That is a bummer. Hopefully you got everything sorted out with regards to the generator. Oops. We're on a backup. Well, at least you got the backup. I mean, there's something. But the generator is toast. Man, that sucks. I am sorry. When it rains, it pours. Am I right? I know how that goes. I have had I have had my bad slew of events, that is for sure. But it's only momentary. It's only a point in time. It's a rough point in time, but you'll get past it, I'm sure. Now I gotta find some type of fabric cleaner for the couch. Good luck, my friend. All right. Well, we have 9 lurkers right now, which is absolutely amazing. Never mind. Every time somebody drops, it's like they know I'm about to talk about the lurkers, and they're like, "Nope, I am pre-offended. I'm getting out of here." We have 8 lurkers in the stream at the moment, and I want to take a moment to say that I thank and appreciate each and every one of you. I love you, and I am more humbled than I can express in words that you are here spending your Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning with me. Hopefully, you're all off to a great start to your weekend. But you help to put me off to a great start to mine. So I thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Spark says, Lurker here, coming out of my Lurker cave. Well, welcome, Spark. Welcome to the weekend. I'm glad that you're here. I'm using a car cleaner because my couch is leather, LOL, and leather is in cars sometimes. I don't know. Hope it works. Well, good luck. Good luck. You have sound logic there. I get it. I get it. And Java says, I'm here and I would add to the conversation, but you're talking about cats. Yeah, no, by all means, give me a different topic to talk about because that's one of those topics for me that it's like, I don't mind talking about cats, but, you know, I don't, I'm not thrilled with talking about the fact that Dewey pees in my house because that sucks. What do you want to talk about, Java? What do you got going on? Jack says, I'm back to lurk some more. Well, welcome back. Enjoy your lurk perch. Glad that you're here. No, I want to flip. What do I want to flip? I do still have a uh, sub, but it's not, or you have a submission, but it's not very interesting. I did run into a problem with it though. Oh, well. Good luck working it out. So long as you're just, I am a little better. I am in a little better mood after now. Well, I'm glad that you're in a better mood now, though, because apparently G10 and on aluminum sandwich isn't very durable. Oh, gotcha. This thing is so unbelievably slippery, but it sounds so nice. I enjoy the clang of it. Not good. I've been enjoying the original kite ale. It's just a nice, lazy flipper. Oh, when your fingers don't trip over themselves. Um, I am a little better, or I am in a little better mood after now. Okay, we got that. Because apparently G10, yep, got that. Did you see the clip I posted with a slow-mo midway through? I don't think I have. I don't think so. I'll check it out. It's cool in my opinion. Awesome. I like those simple edits. I got the Orion V2, super fun Bali. I need to do a huge video spree soon because it's been over a month since I posted the vid. Spark, that's true. You keep showing up, but you haven't been dropping any videos lately, and you haven't done any streams in a long time. I mean, you do you. By no means am I trying to call you out or make you, feel bad about what you are or are not doing. But I do agree that it has been a little bit of a silence from your side of things. So, by way of content, so I do look forward to whatever you got coming next. Um, I had the slow mo on the Pinky Pop to overhand scissor. Okay, cool. If only the Orion V2 had a live blade. I agree. I am also waiting for that um, as well. I am. Ah, but yeah, the Kite AL is like comically handle bias, but it's super fun to just. I say lazily flip because it's like you don't have to put much behind it, and momentum just does the work for you, and it really just. I don't know. It's a fun lazy flipper because it'll still do everything that you need for it to do. Like it'll fan, despite the fact that it's handle bias. Um, you just gotta, put a little finesse in there, but you can still make it happen. As I'm actively not making it happen, but it works. Dang, 11 people. See, now 10. Um, yeah, every now and then I get a higher view count, but again, I mean, I don't I've streamed for two people before. That's where I was starting. So that's totally fine. If so long as I don't have 150 people and I can't read the chat, that would be problematic. However, I suppose if I had 150 lurkers, I would be okay with that too. Don't call them out. They're going to leave. Right, exactly. You called it out. Now we're down to 8. It's okay. It is okay. All right, what else do I want to flip? I'm probably getting to the end of the stream here probably pretty soon. I have gone through my talking notes and I am interacting with anyone in the chat that's interacting. We have to talk about cats, I guess. We don't have to. Java, are you going to Blade Show? I mean, we can talk about anything. I've already gone to the extent of telling because 3 one time asked me, just talk about something, talk about blankets, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk about blankets. And then for the next month, I rallied against talking about blankets. Oh, you live in the EU, so that's a no. Gotcha. So yeah, I have since decided that uh, yeah, I'll talk about anything that people want me to talk about, whether it be something as silly as blankets or whether it be balisong flipping or anything in between. So if Java, there is something other than cats that you want to talk about, by all means, let me know, and I will give you my hot take on whatever topic you got for me. I really like the fact that I put the rep scales back on the rep versus the 3D printed super light PLA glow in the dark scales. It was nice having this thing glow in the dark, but it was so blade bias that it was like bonkers to flip. Uh, do I like Gouda? No. As a matter of fact, Java, were you in the cheese stream? that was like that was probably the most dramatic and drama filled stream we've had to date because we were talking about how I do not actually like cheese for the most part. There are some exceptions to that. Oops. I'll eat a grilled cheese sandwich. I like pizza with cheese on it. I like cheese on my cheeseburgers. I like a slight amount of cheese on, tacos and things like that. Uh, but I cannot eat cold cheese ever and ever and ever. What's going on, Grim? How are we doing? Welcome to the weekend. How are you doing today? Hopefully, you're off to a good start this weekend. Oops. Oh, let me check something real quick. Chillin'. Nice. Same. Very much the same. I'm through my talking notes. I'm to the point where I am interacting with chat and flipping. And when I get to the point where I was gonna say where one of those gets boring, I'm probably gonna wrap things up. But I don't see interacting with chat getting boring. It's more when if flipping gets boring first, I will put the Bali away. And is this starting to bind? Yes, this is binding. What just happened? I'll figure that out later. I don't want to figure it out now. But that means Bali surgery for Unc later on today. But yeah, I'm not going to get bored with you guys. With you guys, it's just whether or not you get quiet. What shampoo do I use? Honestly, at the moment, I use a beard shampoo for the little bit of hair that I have on my head, and I use Garnier Fructis for conditioner. Um, yeah, I can't remember what the brand of beard shampoo is, but it smells nice. Yep, cool. Let's see. I can't like flip at chest level. I have to. I mean, I guess I can't. I can't flip at upper chest level. Like not above my desk, anyways. I can flip at my desk level. Uh, nope. Oh well. All right. So I think we are probably going to get stuff wrapped up, get things shut down. So, for all of my lurkers out there, thank you very much for tuning in today. I appreciate you spending your start to the weekend out with me. Hopefully, you got something out of today's stream. Hopefully it was cool. But thank you very much for being here. I love you guys. I really appreciate the support that you guys silently show. And to everybody who was in chat, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for interacting. Thanks for giving your 2 cents. Thanks for asking your questions. Thanks for giving me something to bounce off of. I really appreciate it. You guys start my weekends out great every single time. For the time being, though, we are all set for today, or we're at least all set for this early afternoon. We will talk later. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for saying hi. We'll see you guys in the next one. Love you.